on my internet. Here we go.
The Bleav, the Phoenix Suns podcast, right here on KSRN. With your host, Earl Burnett, aka Casual Eating.
Exactly. I'm starting to kind of figure you out a little bit, Flex. Figure you out. But you really believe in this Suns team. You really see something that maybe some of us are not seeing, bro.
And Felix Cruz, Flex from Jersey.
Just feels different. He's the hungriest dog in the race, and that's what I'm saying. That's another dynamic I think people are underestimating. Is that we're gonna go in there with a pack of hungry dogs, and the hungriest dog is leading our team.
Time to talk Sun.
I want to go down there and destroy everyone in our way. Welcome into the Bleav, the Phoenix Suns podcast. We are back, and we are coming in the house with heavy freaking hearts right now. Disappointment, and it's really tough, but hey, these are the finals. This is what happens in a series. But anyway, we'll get into that. Earl Burnett, a.k.a. Casual E. Of course, my man across from me, Felix Cruz, a.k.a. Flex from Jersey, who went on the radio again and had to put it down and tell these fans, y'all can give up if y'all want to, but hey, what's up, Flex?
Hey, man, listen, I woke up this morning, Planet Orange, I woke up this morning, the sun was shining, my family's healthy, no one died, and the Suns are still alive, man. So this
You're
is
alive until it's done, you know.
That's it, man.
You gotta look at it. You're alive until it's done, and you gotta kind of lean back on some of the stuff that you experienced too. You have never ever. You're a good road team, first of all, and you know how to win on the road.
Yeah,
and you never won. You never lost 4 games in a row all season.
That's right.
And so
That's
there's
right.
some things they can lean back on. And I know, you know, a lot of people have already given up already. I want you to do me a favor, dude.
Yeah.
Start screenshotting a lot of these people that have given up already.
Already doing it.
And we're gonna bring them
Already
back.
doing it. Already doing it. You know what, E-Man? Listen, you know, this is my problem with some of that stuff is if they gave away championships for winning 3 games, there'd be a whole bunch of people that don't got rings that have rings.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You don't get the ring. You don't get to touch Larry O'Brien with 3 wins. You gotta win. You gotta win 4. Ask Golden State when they were up 3-1. If they got the trophy for going up 3-1, they didn't.
Right.
So you know, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, and you know what's crazy, E? I want people to play this back. I actually want to see if you can take a clip of our last show and put this out on social media because I said it on this show. I said if the Suns lost Game 5, I thought we would go into Milwaukee and win Game 6 and then win Game 7. I said that before the game happened.
Right, you sure did.
You know what I'm saying? So let's talk about it.
Yeah, for sure. But I mean,
go ahead, talk to me. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, for the guys that are chiming in and all the fans that are chiming in and listeners, I didn't do no prep. I didn't do none of that. We gonna count on y'all for y'all's comments and stuff, and we gonna talk this thing out because
off the cuff. Yeah, this right off the cuff.
We got to go ahead and put the bandwagon back up and watch these people start to jump back on it when they do go in there and win this game. One thing I can say about this situation, I kind of like it this way.
I do too. I kind of like it, E. I'm telling you, I feel good. I kind of like it.
I do because, first of all, I always, in my mind, was thinking the person that's going to Game 6 is going to be a very critical game because that's a game that's going to be having somebody facing elimination. So that also means somebody's going to feel that pressure of having to close out a desperate team.
Yeah,
and that's not easy to do. You can't. No. You closing out a team in any playoff series is hard to do, let alone a final series. So I would imagine the Suns are going to be playing with that focused look. Let's talk about the game last night. Let's talk about
Talk
that.
about the game, and then we'll talk about how I feel this is
feel
going.
about
Yeah,
going into but let's. I mean, the start of this game was as perfect as it could ever have been. Right.
yeah.
I mean, you come out there and blitzkrieg them, and you're up a quick 32-16, and 16 points in an NBA game is not really that big. Everybody knows that a 16-point lead can be decimated throughout a 3 quarters and next thing. But for them to come back as fast as they did was really surprising. But in my opinion, and why they came back so fast, the Suns were going for the knockout in the first quarter. You can see what they were doing.
Yeah.
They were going for the knockout in the first quarter, and they exuded all that energy to get that lead. And then in the second quarter, for some odd reason, Monty takes Book out, and then the rest of the team still tried to go for the dagger shot. Let's keep getting them, and they went for all these
right. Jay took two bad threes. Torrey Craig took a bunch of bad threes.
All these guys just start jacking up bad threes. Now we're not talking about
bad threes,
bad threes. And I'm going, those are the threes that are going to let this team right back in the game. And that's exactly what happened in minutes. And then
5 minutes.
And then in that second quarter, what they ended up doing was, okay, it's getting a little desperate. Book, take over here, help us, do your thing. And
come save the day. Yeah, save the day.
Now the team's watching him again, and the ball stops moving, and nobody's active anymore. And I'm like, man, this team has lost their way as far as how to play together. It's like that ball's not moving like it's supposed to. Too much ISO ball going on. And I'm like, wait a minute, we're not going to win like this. And then, of course, the last thing of this whole equation is, for the first time, we let all 3 of their stars get off.
Yeah, that's
that can't happen.
Here's the perfect storm here. Here's the psychology of like sports in general in this type of pressure-packed situations. Okay,
right.
First things first, whether people want to admit it or not, the team that's supposed to win, the team that's at home, has all the pressure on them. So you always hear this agenda of, oh, we're at home, we're good. No, actually, the team at home usually has the pressure. And so we had to win yesterday, not the Bucks. The Bucks psychology was, okay, we're going to try to win this game, but if we don't, we got a game 6 in our pocket. And then we can come back and try again game 7. So psychology-wise, they already had kind of an advantage. We punched them in the face and gave them their best punch, and then allowed them to take that punch and come back. And once that happens, that's a recipe for disaster in the NBA Finals, because it's very similar. I saw this happen in I forget the year, but the finals that Dwayne Wade won his first chip against Dallas. They won in game 6, and Dallas, they were on the road, and Dallas came out and went up to like a quick 15, 20 point lead really quick. And I remember in the huddle, I think it was Eric Spoelstra said, hey, listen, Pat Riley or Spoelstra, one of them was like, hey, listen, we took their best punch. They're in trouble now. And that's what Milwaukee did yesterday. Took our best punch, and then we let them back in. And then they controlled the game. But here's the thing, man.
Right.
You had 3 of their stars basically all have 30. So Middleton, Holiday, and Giannis all got 30. And then to make things matters worse, Connaughton had 15. So you're talking about 105 points from 4 guys, and one of them is a bench player. That's just, you're just not going to win. Now, do I think that can happen again? I don't believe that I believe the Bucks emptied the tank yesterday. And rightfully so, they got the win. But now I'm intrigued, because now I'm saying, okay, people are saying, oh, it's game 6 in Milwaukee. Let me talk to you about this, E. Game 6 in Milwaukee is actually game 7 for Milwaukee. Because they know they got to win. They know they have to win. They know that they got the one opportunity to win a road game in the playoffs, and they did it. And now the pressure's on them. They have to go home and win a game.
A lot of pressure, man. That comes with a lot of pressure.
There's more pressure on them than it is the Suns, if I'm being honest. Now the Suns have already, they're apparently, based on the national media, they're already buried. So they got 3 days to digest what losing in the finals might feel like. Now the Bucks, on the other hand, are saying, we've choked away 3 years in a row. We're at home. We got to get this one, because if we get back on a plane, the game might be over at the airport. You know what I'm saying? That game might be over when they land at Sky Harbor. Like, so this is a game 7 for them. And I'll point this out. Game 4 versus the Lakers. I'm sorry to sound long-winded, but we got an hour here, so we're gonna chop this up.
Dude. Keep on rolling.
You know,
keep on
I'm
rolling.
trying to get Planet Orange to get back into this momentum that we need. And here's what I'm gonna say. If you want to feel better, let me just chop this up for you. Game 4 against the Lakers, we were down 2-1 with Chris Paul possibly not playing. Like, that was the game where Monty went to him and said, hey, you may not play. And he begged him to put him in the starting lineup and said, if I'm not okay, take me out. But that was 2-1 in LA versus LeBron and Anthony Davis with a chance to go down 3-1. And the Suns responded and won that game. Okay. Then they went to LA game 6 and had to put the GOAT to sleep and did it. Then they went to Denver game 3 and 4 and won road games. Then they went to the Clippers 2-1 with a lot of pressure, because if it's 2-2, now you got a game 5 in Phoenix. And again, they responded. They lose game 5. And what do? They get on a plane and the pressure's back on them. The pressure's on them to win game 6, because people are saying, hey, if you lose game 6 against the Clippers, you got a game 7 in Phoenix and anything can happen. What did they do? They responded. So there's no reason to believe they can't respond. Another thing is, it's very hard to beat a team 4 times in a row, and the Bucks know this. The Bucks know this. You know what I mean? So there's a lot of things. The series is far from over. DeAndre Ayton said it in his press conference yesterday. I like the fact that we're desperate. This is fun now. This is fun now. I love that the big fella said that. Let's have fun. Let's go to Milwaukee. Let's break their hearts, and let's bring this back to the Valley. And I'll say what I said about Paul Westphal. You know, I'm going to channel Paul Westphal again, man. Listen, the series is not over. We'll go to Milwaukee on Tuesday. It'll be a dogfight, but we'll pull it out, and then we'll fly back on Thursday, the next game. We'll win the game, and everybody say what a great series it was. Anybody that doesn't want to believe that, or anybody that's giving up right now, shame on you, because you haven't watched this basketball team all year. And I know there's adjustments that we'll make to get things to get things corrected in game 6.
Absolutely. We're gonna lean on, like I said, some of these comments on here, and you're listening to the Bleav the Phoenix Suns podcast right here on the KSRN YouTube page. Go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube page, KAZUAL with the Z at the end of the word sports, on every one of our platforms. Got a comment right here. A lot of broken ankles from jumping off the bandwagon, and you can, and that started.
Yeah,
that started. The national media started that way before the series even started. Because if I see another thing on coverage from I tweeted out last night, can somebody get Jalen Rose off TV? Because this
it's atrocious, man.
This whole. I observed NBA TV doing a segment that has the finals. They're covering the finals, right? And so you bring on 2 fans. Okay, this is the finals.
From the Bucks. From the Bucks. I saw that.
That segment's supposed to be a Suns fan and a Bucks fan. You bring on 2 Bucks fans to argue over if it's going to be game 6 or game 7. I said, what kind of trash is this? I could not believe they're not giving this team any respect, y'all. No, zero. And the whole broadcast is Bucks-centric. Boom, Bucks. And granted, when you got a big superstar like Giannis that's overshadowing everything, that's where they're all going to. But
Giannis is a global name. Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
But the Suns
Giannis is a global name.
Suns are still the same team that when they play the right way, they're hard to beat. And if anybody had told you that we had a 40-point spot from Booker, 21 from Paul, and 20 from Ayton, that would have been a win, right?
Oh, hold on. And let me throw some out. 55% from the field, 60% from 3, and 90 from the line. That's never happened.
Right.
So what does that tell me? Like, we're getting everything we want. We're getting all the shots we want. Now, credit the Bucks. They hit every shot they had to hit last night. And I'm gonna get them credit. But I'm gonna tell you something. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Let me just say this though. That stat line for the scoring for the Suns usually would be a win. But
that's a win. That's a
looking
win.
at that game, I'm telling you, Flex, looking at that game with my eyes, it didn't feel like that stat line to me. Of course, only from Booker it did. But the other two, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That 2021 that Chris had could have easily been 30, 35 or more, or somewhere in the 30 range and more assists. He didn't seem engaged into the game early. He's like he keeps waiting. He's like he's waiting for something. We don't have any more time to just let you sit back and wait. And we got a comment on here that someone said this dude is injured and he's just not admitting it. And okay,
listen, listen.
Don't want to admit it, right? I mean, that's any show.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you straight up. I'm gonna tell you straight up. Okay.
Right.
We know this. Like I've been getting this comment. People DMing me and asking me, like, what do I know? And I'm going to tell you what I know. What I know is what everybody else's know. Chris Paul has a torn ligament in his left wrist, but he had that torn ligament when he dropped 41 against the Clippers. So listen, it is, yes, he's hurt. Listen, everyone is hurt. Everyone is hurt. Right. Like no one's going to sit here and diagnose what's going on. There's multiple players that are dealing with things that both teams are hiding. So no one's healthy. So yeah, Chris is banged up, but it's not banged up to where you can sit here and say, he can't perform. No, he's performing. He can get out there and do what he has to do. I'm gonna tell you what. Listen, at the end of the day, all those numbers are cool. E. Right. But the number that mattered yesterday was the number 79.
Oh my!
And that was the amount of points that the Suns gave up between the second and the third quarter. 79 points.
Yeah.
Okay, that's defense. That's defense. That's principles. That's hunger. That's desire. That's 50-50 balls. That's boxing out. That's those things that lost that basketball game, not the offensive output. The offensive output was good enough to win. This Phoenix Suns team has been a top 5 defense all year. That wasn't the Phoenix Suns defense that we're used to. But I will say this, Monty Williams, for all the flack he's getting, might have stumbled on to the master plan in the fourth quarter. And we're going to talk about this, okay? I'm going to tell you what I believe is going to happen in game 6, which is going to be the reason why the Suns win the game. Go ahead.
Now, before we talk about that, let's talk about why they scored 79 points. And the reason why I'm looking at it now, because we didn't make that team work on defense. We didn't make it work until the fourth quarter. We made them work because the ball started to move a little bit more. And another thing, we wasted another performance that could have helped us. Mikal had it going.
Let's talk about that, though. Let's talk about that.
Hold on a second. And this is where Chris Paul has been missing the boat as a point guard this whole series. And I'm not trying to point the finger at him. I'm just saying there's something off balance. And that's when somebody's hot, he normally knows how to continue to get that person the ball. For example, when Cam had it going in game 4, you got to concentrate on, we got somebody that's got it hot, and that's a chance we can win this game. You got to be, as a point guard, to get that person the dang rock.
Agreed.
Mikal is part of this, crucial part of this offense when they got it going. When Book's got it going, CP's got the ball going around with assists. You got to get that dude the ball a little bit more if he's got it going. He hadn't missed a 3 all night.
Right.
He's critical to our offense. So I'm just saying, it's like, and that's where it came down to a lot of ISO ball and Book's going 1-on-3 and but he's breaking fools off and he's getting the points, but everybody else is getting cold.
We needed Book to do all of that because
and more. Yeah, we needed him to do what he did. But at the same time, Chris has got to distribute that ball to the guys that have it going. And if you can imagine, if Mikal keeps going the way Mikal gets going, man, that would have been an easy.
Let's talk about Mikal though. Let's talk about Mikal. Okay. So I did the Rip City Drive. I'm sure you heard it. The Rip City Drive the other night. We did the Rip City Drive on NBC Sports, Portland, Oregon, and I told them during that interview, I said, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to look at one stat, and that one stat at the end of the game is going to tell me if the Suns won or lost. When Mikal Bridges takes 10 shots, the Suns are undefeated. They're 10-0 in the postseason when Mikal takes 10 shots.
Good point.
When he doesn't take 10 shots, they're 0-5. Okay? So yesterday he took 6 shots. And that's just it. Like the men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And Mikal Bridges, when he takes 10 shots, we're undefeated. So I expect that number to be plus 10 in game 6. And here's the thing, man. I think Mikal Bridges is the key to us winning this championship. And I'll say that he needs to get more shots up. And I believe that the Suns are going to throw a complete monkey wrench at Milwaukee for game 6. I think they're going to start the game with Mikal Bridges on Drew Holiday. I think that they're going to put Mikal on Drew Holiday. Okay. They're going to put Devin Booker on Middleton, and they're going to move CP over to PJ Tucker, and then leave all the front court the way it is. Okay. Right. And they're going to make Drew. Right. They're going to make Drew Holiday face the same thing Chris Paul has been facing for the last 5 games. Pressure 94 feet, just harassing defense. And I'm not worried about Chris Paul having to overwork himself against PJ Tucker. PJ's just not an offensive threat. He's going to sit in the corner. And it's going to be similar to what the Suns used to do against the Spurs when they would switch off Sean Marion onto Tony Parker. Right. And they would put Steve Nash on Bruce Bowen. Like, it's going to be one of those adjustments. That's what the Suns used to do against the Spurs. And that was the best way to try to beat the Spurs. And I think that's going to happen in game 6. And now Milwaukee's going to have to answer that. Monty's playing chess, not checkers. Someone just said that in our chat. And I was going to say that, but he just said that.
Question here. Nicholas put a good question up here about the thoughts on Monty's rotation, but you pretty much said that of what you think he's going to do on the next.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Currently going right now.
That's going to, yeah.
Yeah, so I believe that's probably
that's
probably the best thing to do, what you just said, because that preserves Chris a lot more, to give him the opportunity to go ahead and be a scorer now. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, he's going to delegate and do that pick.
And we did it in the floor.
Scorer now, yeah, exactly. I like that. Hopefully that could be the recipe that gets them over the hump on the road. But we have to make this team feel it. Everything they did in that second quarter was too easy, and it's like we're not getting up in them and making them, forcing them to do things. I mean, I don't know, but let's talk about
yeah, you know what I'm sorry, last thing on that. Thing on that real quick, what you just said. The Suns were playing defense hoping Milwaukee missed, as opposed to playing defense making Milwaukee miss. And I know that may sound quirky.
No, that's
but when I coach my kid, when I coach my kids, I tell them, this is something I always tell you. You win on defense, you win championships on defense. And you can't play defense hoping someone misses. You have to play defense assuming that you're going to apply enough force and pressure that they're going to miss, not just kind of halfway there. And that's kind of what it was yesterday. It was like, okay, I hope Middleton misses. Oh, he made another one. Can he make 2 in a row? Yeah, he made 2 in a row. Okay, let's see if you can make 3. No, you can't do that.
Got to make them uncomfortable somewhere. They're too comfortable. And a lot, they're really comfortable, and they got a lot of easy shots. And then in the fourth quarter, they start to make really hard contested shots. And that just all it all got in this big pot and ended up the way it ended up. That's a game that doesn't usually go that way. I mean, a 60-point lead turns around and boom, you down 14. It usually don't go that way. And you got to make these dudes feel you and get up in them and make it uncomfortable for them the way they're doing us on defense. And that's where I'm going to lead into our next comment. I forgot who had it on here about giving the Bucks credit, how they, they're a good team. Let me see here. Who was that? Yeah, Suns Geek. I think this game showed how great the Bucks team is, and we knew that coming in. I think we lost Flex. Flex, you good? Yeah, but anyway, he'll get back in. But I'm telling you guys, this Suns team is still able to get this done, but they have to turn the focus back on the defensive end. And right now, Milwaukee has gotten comfortable, really comfortable. Watching this game, oh, here we go. He'll be back in a minute. Watching this game, I started to think maybe the better team is starting to emerge from this thing, because from game 1 to game 2 to game 3 to game 4, Bucks just got better and better and better and more focused and and we're not doing anything to take them off of that. Monty's rotation is going to be a lot to do with that. So what Flex just got through saying about changing it up, that could be key to changing it to get them uncomfortable. They're used to what we're doing already. We need to make some type of move that would get them uncomfortable. I don't see. I mean, and also we got to control them damn role players. This Connaughton dude is killing us. I mean, it's one thing to deal with. It's one thing to deal with Giannis, Drew, and Middleton, but to have to deal with Connaughton, Portis, and all those role players making all these plays, somebody got to make them dudes uncomfortable. And them dudes are not that damn good to where you can't control them. I mean, come on now.
Yeah, no. You gotta that's the thing. So my man Sons Geek, great question here, but there was another one that he just said.
Yeah, he sent another one. I hit the wrong one.
I love. He said, "Do you?"
Here we go.
Do you think we just let Giannis score and shut everybody else down?
Right,
okay?
right.
And yes, I think that's the recipe that we handled in game 1 and 2. Like
killing us.
Right. You
players are killing us.
Listen, let Giannis get whatever he wants and clamp up on everyone else. And the Phoenix Suns win this basketball game, and they win it easy. Like, again, listen, I looked at that game 4 about 5 times. I rewatched that game. Okay. Every time I watch that game, I'm sitting here and I'm saying, man, the better team didn't win that game. The Suns should have won that game. And I feel like the Suns could have won the last 2. So I feel good about going into Milwaukee. I really do. I just think we just got to weather that first 5 minutes. And then at that point, we're good.
Stay on that. When you're saying you saw we all can see the Suns, the better team, right?
Yeah.
So there's some element that is causing them that these games are going the opposite way. And my man here, Kenny Perry, is saying this in the first game in the playoffs, we see the lack of experience was a factor in the Bucks winning.
I agree.
I agree with that 100%. In fact, the article is going to go up on KSRN probably tomorrow morning about this exact thing. And go ahead and subscribe to the KSRN webpage as well, and you get all these articles. And also, too, all you fans out there, this is where you come to have your vent. You can be heard. Put your comments up. This is the only place you're going to come in to be heard. So come on in, subscribe to the YouTube page, and we can always chop it up. But, man, I'm telling you, that's on the wavelength I've been on for a long time. You know this, Flex. I've been on this day one. And I sound like a broken record, and I sound like some of the fans might be saying, will you stop saying this? But it's the truth. And it's that element of disappointment and failure building up to get you to understand how to win games like that.
Yeah.
In the final series. Can the Suns have that process accelerated? And to this point, they've had accelerated it. I mean, they shouldn't even be here.
Right.
You know? So they've had that process.
They've overachieved. They've overachieved.
Exactly. And they have gotten into this situation now that you're here. And this is the part that kind of gives you that little bit, not I'm gonna say doubt, but you can start to see the more experienced team starting to emerge, because you can see it. And you can see the drive they have, like, no, I'm not failing again. And you can see it in Giannis's eyes. I'm not failing this again. And so that's a pressure and a component the Suns are facing too to have to overcome.
Yeah.
But then again, when you look at where they are now, that could be part of the growing process. Can they get over that experience this fast? Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Earl. Listen, there's a first time for everything. And yesterday was the first time that the Phoenix Suns felt this type of pressure. And Doc Rivers sent Monty Williams a text before the game yesterday. And the text said, pressure is a privilege at this level. Like, to feel pressure at this level is a privilege. There's 28 other teams that will be kicking themselves in the ass to have the pressure you're in tonight. Right. So embrace it. So now the Suns came out, and yes, I saw a lot of signs of some guys that are younger on the roster that didn't quite handle that pressure correctly.
Right.
But here's the good thing. Okay, we got that out the way now. Okay,
right.
They've had that moment where they felt the pressure and they didn't succeed. So now they got 72 hours to kind of regroup and analyze and say, okay, we felt that. But now here's the opposite part of it. The opposite part of it is now that pressure that the Phoenix Suns felt yesterday immediately shifts over to Milwaukee on Tuesday, right? Right. And so now here's the thought process behind this.
Okay.
Now the Suns can use this to their advantage. The Suns can say, if I'm Monty Williams, this is what I'm telling the Suns. We know we can win this. We know we can do this. But we playing with house money, guys. Y'all not supposed to be here.
Exactly.
Y'all not supposed to be here. Now you know what the question, the psychology in the Milwaukee locker room is. Hey guys, y'all been here before. Y'all choked it away 3 years in a row. Is this going to be 4? Are y'all really ready to take that step? Are you gonna make those shots when you see the yellow tape and the Larry O'Brien trophy down in the corner of the arena?
This is why there's a chance. It's because my man Roy here is exactly right. The both of these teams had lack experience.
That's exactly what I'm saying, Roy. That's exactly what I'm saying.
That's right on point, because now, they felt the failures of getting to the finals. They've never been there either. So this is our chance to force them to feel that pressure, like you just said. Correct. This is the chance to get them to choke. And I'm telling you, man, I thought that was last night that the choke job was there when those 2 free throws missed by Giannis. I said, there's your choke job right there. They ain't been here before. The inexperience is getting to him already. And I thought that was going to be the flip of the series to get us, to be staying ahead a game in this series. But he's correct.
I love what Roy said.
Yeah, that's perfect. That makes this really that makes the stakes still even. Right?
Yeah.
You got a chance. You still have a chance. Now they made you feel you're in a situation now where you're not in control of the series as far as being ahead of it now, and you're going to be facing your first elimination game. Okay, let them feel the pressure of having to actually win a final.
And you know what's funny, Earl? Like I'm big on psychology. I really am. Like I'm big on psychology. I got a daughter that's graduating from the University of South Carolina with a degree in psychology. Okay.
Nice.
So I'm big on psychology. And I'm big
some head wars going on in that house.
Yeah, no, we have great dialogue and great conversations about this stuff, man. So I'm big on psychology, and I'm super intrigued by sports psychology. Okay. And I'll tell you this, what's funny, how the brain's powerful. So if the Suns had won yesterday, everyone on planet Orange would be saying Suns in 6. They can go in Milwaukee and close this out in Milwaukee. We've done it before, right? But because they lost, immediately psychologically, you start to just reverse and think, okay, so my thing is stay in that moment. Like, we knew the Suns can win game 6, whether they won or lost that game yesterday. Right. Like, I don't believe in momentum in the NBA Finals carrying over, because every game is its own entity. Every game is has its own identity. Everything plays out. Perfect example, guys. We just had a game 5 against the Clippers to wrap it up to go to the NBA Finals, and we came out flat. And the Clippers beat the dog, out of us. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? So, and that was a little bit of, okay, we emptied the tank in LA in game 4. We just want to show up, and the home crowd's going to help us win this Western Conference Finals. And it didn't work that way.
Right. And so knock out in the first quarter.
There you go. So now the same thing happens to Milwaukee. Right. They know that this last game is do or die, Bed-Stuy, because they cannot get on a plane and go back to Phoenix. So again, man, I feel good about this. Win, lose, or draw yesterday, I felt good about Phoenix in the game 6, and I'm not changing course. And I'll say one last thing, Earl. I'm a Phoenix Suns fan. Like, I do this, I cover the team, and I try to keep things as real as possible. But there is a time when my fandom takes over.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And, right? Of course it does, right? I'm a Suns fan, man. So
I know that from my man Sean. Sean get to going. It's like, this dude been here all his life. All he knows is Suns. And when they go down like that, man, this dude is crushed.
Right. It's crushing, man. It's crushing. And it's crushing to have a even keel mentality when you're trying to do these shows and talk to the fan base and really, really kind of articulate what you're trying to say without people thinking that you're just saying it because you're a Suns fan. I'm trying to do the best I can to be even keel, but I'll say this again. If the Phoenix Suns lose game 6, I am not going to be devastated.
Oh no, he should.
And I tell you why. I'm not going to be devastated because if you lose 4 straight games to the Milwaukee Bucks, you were not the best team. You did not deserve to win an NBA championship. Like, I'll be devastating if Giannis hits a 92-foot shot walk off. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But I'm not going to be devastated if you lose 4 in a row, because you got to kind of look things for what they are. And if you're not the best team, you shouldn't win. But I still believe the Suns are the best team. If you look at the stats and you look at the way the series is played out, I think the Suns should have more than 2 wins. And I think the Bucks are lucky to have 3. And so I'm going with what I believe. I think the Suns will respond.
If you're part of the coaching staff on this team,
yeah,
and you see Devin Booker realizing that we're missing a whole lot of shots and we just don't have an offensive rhythm going, I have to take over. Mm-hmm. And he's taking more shots, and he's taking a lot of shots, and he's taking a lot of 1-on-3s and a lot of 1-on-2s and double teams, and he feels like it was Devin Booker versus the Bucks in that game, in parts of that game, in crucial parts of that game.
Right.
How do you pull that guy back, superstar, and say, rely on your team? How do you? He's on the floor. He can see they don't have it going. So it's like, okay, right. How does he? I mean, he's in a rough spot because how does he extended all his energy last night and put up that big 40 spot, and he had no help again.
Well, you know how you do that?
What is that?
I'm gonna tell you how you do that, Earl. You tell that team that came in for 6 minutes when he was on the bench to make fucking shots. I'm sorry for cursing.
No,
that's how you. But that's how you do it.
Somebody tell Campaign to make a freaking layup.
Right. Make shot. Make shot. Devin Booker spotted you 16 points. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, now go in there and make shots. And if you go in there and make shots, Devin Booker will come back in and say, I'm going to pass you the ball because you're making shots.
Right.
But if I spot you 16 points, I go on the bench and I come back in and it's a 3-point game. Naturally, it's just like anything, Earl, right? Like if you go to a bar and you get in a bar fight and you beating the hell out of everybody, and then your boys that came with you, you wait for them to throw some punches, and they just sitting there like, yo, Earl, keep knocking these dudes out.
You almost got him. You
almost got him, Earl. Let me buy you a beer while you beating the hell out of somebody. Like, no, Earl, I brought you here to fight with me, brother. How about you put the beer down and throw a punch with me? So that's more of what happened yesterday. I think Devin looked at the situation and said, hold on, man. I came to fight.
That's the last few games. He's looked at the situation like, okay, we don't have it going. Somebody got to keep us in this damn game.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what it was on in that game. Got a lot of good comments that are coming up in here. Like I said, let me look at this. There was a couple of good ones I just went by real fast. Let's go. Let's talk about. Okay, now Devin has had this awesome 40-point game. Now all of a sudden, everybody turns and says, you got to go win us this game. And he's got the ball in his hands. And I'm trying to tell you, everybody's thinking that he got double teamed. And it was a broken play. Drew Holiday just pretty much came off his guy and just went to the ball.
There was 3 dudes on him.
It was 3 guys on him all of a sudden because Drew knew he was going to turn.
Yeah.
And as soon as he turned, he put the ball right in Drew's hands.
Yeah.
So then they fought for it and it pops up. So that was just a good defensive play.
Great defensive play.
Booker was trapped. He was looking for a teammate.
Yeah.
Who was making himself available for him?
No one. And why didn't Monty call a timeout there?
Point. And this is what Nathaniel is asking. Should Monty have called a timeout? Yeah, you dang right he should have called.
Damn right he should have called a timeout. Same way Chris Middleton got that timeout with 4 seconds left and got a bucket out of it.
Your coach on the floor should have called timeout too.
Correct. And Monty shouldn't have called a timeout when Giannis missed the first free throw. He should have just let him shoot the second damn free throw and save that timeout. Exactly. And then in that spot, you're not questioning whether you should call a timeout. You got the extra timeout to do it.
These are those inexperienced type of things that are happening to this team. I mean, Chris Paul is so smart and knows this game. He knows, hey, in a regular season game, that's a timeout from Chris. He'd have been like, timeout. He would have called that timeout. But the pressure of the situation, it magnified to the point where everybody kind of loses it a little bit. Now it's, okay, bail us out. So I don't like to hear all this bad talk about Book turned it over. Book turned
Nah, man, come on. You're not even in that spot. You're not even in that spot if Devin doesn't play Superman, man.
But
And how about this? How about this, Earl?
Uh-huh.
On the strip from Booker,
Right.
what blew the game? The game wasn't blown on the strip. The game was blown on Chris Paul intentionally fouling Giannis in the air.
Oh,
if he just let Giannis catch that and
let
dunk
go,
it's
that's
still a
still a
3-point game.
Three-point game. That's a good.
You got to know time and situation. It's a 1-point game.
Comes down to the situation and the pressure of the moment and the inexperience of being there.
Right. You got to know time and situation. You're down one. They're on a fast break.
Good,
Giannis is behind.
Right. What good was going to come out of that? Even if Giannis misses that, Chris, they could have called a flagrant on you. You pushed.
Right. You pushed it
now,
through in the
now
air.
you got him on a flagrant. Now you got the ball in and the game over. So yeah,
exactly. You let that go. You let them catch the dunk. It's a 3-point game, and you got time to run a play and play the free throw game later if you want. But that blew the game right there.
Right. And see, these pressure-packed situations are going to happen for both these teams. I think the Bucks' time is coming up on Game 6. They're going to melt down in that crucial moment where they have to make the perfect play, and somebody's going to be I don't want it. You take it hot potato. You know, they don't want that pressure to lose the game.
Right.
So it's their turn. If they now, like you said, tip your hat if they come out of it and just go through it and boom. Tip your hat.
Hey, they're the better team.
I got a feeling they're gonna feel what we just felt last night.
I can't wait to see them go on that first. I can't wait to see the Suns go on that first 3 minute. I'm not saying first at the start. I'm saying somewhere in the game there's gonna be a 3-4 minute stretch, Earl.
Right.
Where the Suns are gonna go on like a little 7-8-0 run, and the Bucks are gonna go cold for like 2-3 minutes.
Okay.
And I can't wait to see that moment when that Milwaukee crowd sits on their hands.
That's the fourth quarter, because that's
when it's going to happen. There's going to be a minute, and it could happen early. Because listen, let me tell you something, Earl. Mm-hmm. I knew we were in trouble in the second quarter when that 16-point lead started to dwindle down. You know how I knew we were in trouble? What? Because that Phoenix Suns, the whole crowd sat on their hands.
Yeah,
okay? And you didn't hear them again until the full court.
That's right.
And so I'm waiting for that moment to happen when the Bucks had that moment where it's like, oh, we're in a dogfight, and we thought the Suns were going to lay down, but look at the score. We're down 6, we're down 7. The crowd is quiet, and we see it slipping away again. One more thing: did the Bucks not lose this same position? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Did the Bucks not just lose in this same spot against Brooklyn?
Right.
Like they were in that spot against Brooklyn and blew that game and had to go to Brooklyn for Game 7, right?
Yeah, and lucked out for a dang toe that's about that long.
Exactly. So exactly. So let's not act like the Bucks are the the Golden State Warriors with. Man, it's
better than us. Yeah. I still think it's an even match. It's just a matter of it's a matter of Monty making the right chess move, like you just said earlier. Monty has to make the right chess moves. Budenholzer is barely subbing dudes, just giving guys like brief rest, and they come right back in. Monty's sitting Booker 6 minutes. That's not gonna help you. That's not.
No.
That dude is young. Let him roll. Let him go, because now Booker just has to find his rest on the floor. Like, okay, I don't have to take every shot. Get your team involved. Let's switch this subject, because every show we always have a DA segment, and this is a DA. This is the DA segment. DA. I'm not saying he's reverted back to the passiveness, but we got my man here, Trevor, saying that there was nerves and fatigue for DA last night. I agree with that. Early. He didn't get involved in the game to the point where he was engaged in the game like he's been coming through these playoffs. He was a little bit. You can tell when DA's nervous when they throw him the ball and it goes through his hands.
Yeah.
And we've had like 2 or 3. And I can tell another part when he's not aggressive enough is when you're right under the rim. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep saying this. Will you please stop trying to just aim it in and just dunk the ball? Because those are situations where that crowd could get going. The crowd could get when they see you dunking the rock on somebody. And being a presence in the paint, then that could be something we can go to. The kid's got all kinds of talent, but sometimes, and this is his first time, and we can't come down on him too hard, because again, this is a 22-year-old figuring it out, and it's his first time in a final series. But at the same time, he had it going, and now he's got to get back to how he was playing.
All right, so let me just say something. And you know how I feel about DA, and I'm gonna agree with Trevor to an extent. I think nerves got to Ayton, but I don't think you single out Ayton. I think nerves got to a whole bunch of dudes on the team last night.
Nerves got to everybody on that.
Except Devin Booker. Except Devin Booker, right? Except Devin Booker.
Except for the last 2 or 3, for the whole series, except Devin Booker.
Except Devin Booker, right? The nerves have gotten to everybody. But here's what I'll say, bro. DeAndre played 45 of a possible 48 minutes yesterday. Team high. Team high. Okay. 45 minutes. No one else played more than 41 minutes. This guy had to play 45 minutes in the biggest game of his life, okay?
Right.
He still got you 20 points, 10 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 2 blocks, shot 60% from the field, 7 for 12, hit every free throw, 6 for 6, got 3 offensive boards, and basically was a +6. So I have a hard time, like, really, there was that one play where the ball slipped through his hands, and it could have, I think he could have got, that would have been a big play. But it's just hard for me to single out DA, and then you got to mention the fact too that he's out there.
It's not a singling him out. It's just we're just trying to see.
Yeah, he definitely was nervous though.
Yeah, he exactly where he is. And at this point in this playoffs, where you have a chance to win a title, you can't leave anything to chance. You can't leave a ball short on the rim when you're right under it and you're 7 feet. You can't leave that to chance. You have to. Need. This game's going to end. We're going to be down. How many points? We lost the game by 4. A couple of those dunks, and it's a different ball game. I'm just saying. I mean, you can't.
No. You're absolutely right.
We need this bucket. It's got to be 100%, and you got to jam that thing down on somebody's head.
I agree. Period. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's I get. You know why a lot of the times I tend to defend Mikal Bridges and DeAndre Ayton. And maybe it's the coach in me.
Yeah,
because they're playing so much damn defense, man. Yeah, so it's hard for me to really, really nitpick with some of these things. But listen, I think the nerves got to DeAndre. I think the nerves got to Chris Paul. I think the nerves got to Jay Crowder. Jay Crowder disappeared after the first quarter.
He did.
I think Campaign has been MIA since game 2 of the Clipper series.
Campaign gets into the paint really well, but when he gets there, he thinks somebody's going to foul me, so I'll just throw it up, and hopefully he's hoping the ball go in. It's like,
when's the last time I want somebody on?
He's got the ball going to the rim. It's like, don't you supposed to be concentrating on the backboard and get it off the backboard to put it in? He's just throwing it up.
I want somebody to give me this number because I haven't looked this up myself, and I'm surprised I haven't looked this up myself. Somebody might be able to figure this out. But when was the last game Campaign hit a 3?
Oh man!
Like that was what he was bringing to the table. That was helping his team a lot throughout his playoff run. And I'm just looking. I'm just waiting for that game where Campaign hits 2 or 3 threes.
He had 1 in game 4, but you're talking like multiple threes where he's.
I'm talking about it. Yeah, I'm talking about a game where where he goes out and he hits 2 or 3. You know what I'm saying? Like I just haven't seen that. Maybe it just passed me by. Maybe he did it in game 2 when we hit 23s. I'm not sure. But I just feel like that was something I brought up on Rip City Drive the other day, too. I said Mikal Bridges and Campaign's the X factor. I think when Chris Paul comes out the game, Campaign hits 2 or 3 threes. Those are back-breaking threes because the other team is taking the relief. They're like, okay, Chris is off the floor. We could take a deep breath here. And then Cam comes out and hits 2, 3 threes, and it's like, wow, we in trouble.
And he goes right by his man and lay it up. And I think Sean said something.
And that's why he's not making the layups.
Right. Pretty obvious is that their length may be getting to him on the layups because how he gets by a guy and he thinks the guy's on his back and he lays it up. The guy's arm is long enough to reach the ball, and he's been getting a lot of those swatted away. So now he's trying to adjust his shot, throwing it up high, but now you're just guessing and throwing it up there. So he's really struggling. He's really struggling right now, and we need him to get back to the Campaign that made a difference on that second unit because the second unit
his 3 ball, Earl, when he makes the 3, You know what that does to the defense? The defense says, okay, this guy's getting going at 3. We got to extend the defense, and they go a little higher.
Right.
And then when they go higher, that's where Cam Payne's beauty comes in, because he's so quick. When he gets the defense higher, contesting threes, then the blow by is a blow by, and he's wide at the rim by himself.
They can't stay in front of him.
Right, but because he hasn't shown that he can consistently hit the 3 in this series, that 1 foot or those 6 inches that of different space is why he can't finish at the rim right now. So we need a game like somebody. I think my man Kenny Perry just hit up on a chat. He said Cam Payne hit 2 threes in game 1.
Yeah.
Okay, and
there was something that happened in game 1 when that series first started. Milwaukee did their homework on Cam Payne, because remember in game 1, Chris Paul started the game, of course, right? And he was doing the pick and roll. As soon as Cam Payne came in and tried to do that pick and roll, they doubled him on that pick and roll. Remember that?
Right. Like, they did their homework.
We're not going to let this dude just go around and start making layups and they took him out of the series by doing that. And now his head is like, okay, I don't know what to do. Oh, you got to move the ball, man. You can't go through no double team. And he's trying to do the same, So they did their homework on. They were not going to let him be a factor. But see, at the same time, the Suns got to do their homework on Connaughton, Porter. All these other guys cannot get off like that, and
can't do it.
They're doing a good job on our guys, and that's the difference right now.
Yeah, their road guys are beating our road guys. That's what it comes down to.
And like I said, I don't see superior Bucks and the Suns trying to get to the Bucks level. I see still 2 evenly matched teams. It's just like the chess match. The chess match has to be played. Monty has to make the right moves, and sometimes, if that means taking the ball out of your superstar's hand, you got to make the move that's best for the team, not for a superstar. And sometimes the best move for the team, hey, Chris, instead of you bringing it up, we got to switch it up, and make you a scorer. Make you a scorer now, like you said. Go over that rotation again. You said that would work for game 6.
I think Mikal Bridges, Mikal on Drew Holiday.
Right.
Move Book over to Middleton. Drop CP over to PJ Tucker, and then let Ayton control Giannis and Drew and Crowder on Brook Lopez, or however you want to do that. Like you can put Ayton on Lopez.
That'd be perfect. And the reason why I think that's perfect, because you've seen Drew Holiday get comfortable shooting the ball.
Yeah.
You need a longer length guy that can get in him and get a hand up in his face and make those shots start to go off to the right and left. So
exactly. And they did it in the fourth, and it worked.
And then to match Chris Paul and Tucker, it's like 2 dogs. Just go ahead and y'all go down there and battle.
Y'all go ahead and do that. Yeah. Exactly.
In the paint. Exactly. That's perfect. That's perfect.
Yeah, and if Milwaukee tries to go to PJ Tucker because he's got the advantage on CP as far as he's not that type of player. And if they do that, you're falling right into the trap, because now you're taking the ball away from the guys that can beat you. So
exactly. It's a perfect. It's man. Did they? You said that he stumbled on that. Did they actually do that? Because I didn't get a chance to look at all of the rotations.
Yeah, no, they actually did it. Okay, and again, I had some.
And they gave it a chance to win.
Right, and again, I'm never gonna disclose my sources and stuff like that, but I did have a conversation with somebody, in the know, close to the team, and. Yeah, this is something that they could be looking at. So I believe Monty and the staff, I think they stumbled on something, and I don't think it was. I actually think it was a mistake. The origin of it, organically, it kind of just happened, and then it's like, okay, that kind of worked. So maybe we can try this again. So it's one of those things, man. But
And we need those role players now in this next game to come and show up and use Booker as a calming factor, not a show. Booker's supposed to be a calming factor for everybody. Calm everybody down. He's going to keep us calm. We don't have to panic, and he's going to, do his thing. Not sit back and take pictures. Oh, that's a nice move, Book. That's a good move.
Right.
You can't sit back and take pictures and watch the show. You have to be involved and engaged in the game at the same time. Use him as the calming factor, and then Book at some point has to, okay, I'm gonna lean on my team. Here y'all go. The ball get distributed and see what happens. But they're a better team when we got multiple guys that's got it going.
Yeah, we need it. We need it. And that's been the recipe all year, right? It's been CP control the game, control the game, get everybody involved, and then Booker, be what you are, dog, a killer. Like Melvin Booker did an interview yesterday, and I don't know if it's an interesting thing about when Book was growing up. And he said he wanted Book to be a point guard. Right. And he scratched that. He said he scratched that because he saw that he was a dog. And he's like, when you're a point guard and you're a killer, a point guard's got to get everybody involved. Killers are killers. So he said he scratched that. And that's why Book, he taught him how to be a two guard because he was a killer. So that's what we need. We need Chris Paul to run the offense, and we need him to control the tempo of the game. And then when Book needs to be a killer, go put the dagger in him. That's the recipe that we've had all year, and we can't change. We can't go away from it now in the NBA Finals.
Yeah, we got to start doing something now to get those three guys rattled. I like Nathaniel's comment. We got to start to rattle Holiday again because he came into the series a little shaky. We got to do some things to get that guy rattled. And I think Mikal would be a good idea to, like you said earlier, to put him on him. We also cannot allow that team to get hot like they got hot with those three guys shooting the ball. Somebody has to sacrifice and Cam Johnson. I don't think we use him enough.
No, Cam's been terrific.
I don't think we use this kid enough. This kid is he's smart.
Yeah,
he knows how to play defense. He knows how to play, and he knows how to freaking compete. What
I want to see? You know what I want to see? I'm glad you said. You know what I want to see? E?
What's that?
I want to see Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, and DeAndre Ayton all play together.
At the same
That's
time.
what I want to see.
You see,
not Torrey Craig.
Yeah, you see Budenholzer changing his stuff up. Like we had lineups out there we ain't never seen from him.
He went all big. He went all big. He had Middleton at the point. Yeah,
change it up. So yeah, man. Okay, let's move on. And we already looked at the previews of going into a game 6 and what they have to do to win this game. I see it going back to 7. Let's just hypothetically speak if it doesn't go back to 7, okay? And the Suns drop this game and then the season ends. What can this team do going forward to get back here next year? Because we got to kind of also look at the West being all the injured guys are going to be back. All the teams are going to be at full strength again. Can this Suns team add something to get back in the same level, back in the same position next time?
Yeah, I think the Suns are a prime destination right now. I know for a fact I spoke to somebody at the league office, a good friend of mine that has connection with agents and players and people all over the league. And he told me this a couple weeks ago. He said, Flex, I ain't never seen nothing like this, man. This player's calling agents saying, how do I get with the Suns? How do I get over there? You know what I'm saying? And I'm being honest with you. So we've laid the foundation for people that there's people around the league that are actually saying, hey, I might take a 1-year deal, less money to go play with that team. That team might rejuvenate me or might be able to get me over the top. So I think you go back up big here. I think people are underestimating how much the Dario Saric injury is playing in right now. If we had Dario Saric and then tears it, if he getting killed on the glass, and Dario has a way of connecting things and being a good passer and shooting the three. So I think Dario would have been a big part of this series. But you're not going to have him all of next year. He's out with the entire year probably with the torn ACL. Remember, guys, I want to stress something. It's currently July 18th. The NBA draft is July 29th. Free agency is August 2nd.
Right.
Summer League is August 9th. And the NBA season starts again October 19th. So we're talking about like in 10 weeks, we'll be starting a new season, some stupid number like that. You know what I mean? So, it's Dario's going to be out, but so is Kawhi Leonard. Kawhi Leonard's going to miss all of next year with a torn ACL. Okay. So that takes the Clippers into a different situation. The Lakers are in a flux. Portland might be trading Dame Lillard. Golden State doesn't know what they're doing. Do I think we can be back? Yeah. Do I think we can add a piece? Absolutely. We'll probably have the $10 million mid-level exception or non-taxpayer exception. You can add a good player for $10 million. And your decision is going to have to be, do you give that to some players like Cam Payne and Torrey Craig, or do you go get another dog? and see what you can do. And that's going to be the interesting question, man. And we got the 29th pick in the draft. If we don't win a championship, we'll have the 29th pick in the draft. And this draft is a draft that's pretty deep at the end of the draft. It's not so top heavy this year. So there's some stuff, man. But listen, and
you still got the development of Jalen Smith too. You don't know what that's
exactly. He's another guy that's coming along pretty well, from my understanding. So he can be an X factor next year. He could be a Dario replacement in house already.
Exactly. So when you look at this team, I thought always this year coming in, they didn't really have too many weaknesses until we got into the finals or to the playoffs with the bigger teams, where they didn't have a backup for Aiden. And of course, now, like you said, when Dario down, of course we don't have a backup for him. So that would be the first thing you have to submit.
Got to get a backup big,
Find a backup big, and I don't see really too much of anything. I mean, you got to start at some point, start to look for your next point guard, I would imagine. So, your starter at some point, because Chris is not going to be here forever, of course. So, but other than that, I agree with you. I think they do have what it takes to get back in this situation again. And so let's not everybody think that's the end of all the chances we have. Let's talk about one more thing. And you're going to hear this on every media platform. You're going to hear it all over the TVs and radio during the week before the next game. Chris Paul's legacy if he does not get this done.
Man, it's gonna be. Listen, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer, Earl. Okay. One of the greatest point guards to ever do it. But yeah, it's gonna be it's gonna be similar to John Stockton, right? I mean, that's the guy I compare him to. John Stockton had 2 cracks at it and couldn't get it done. It didn't completely tarnish his legacy. He's still one of the greatest point guards to ever do it. But it wouldn't be the same, man. There's only a few people in the world that get the right to say, I met Larry O'Brien. He's actually my friend. You know what I'm saying? Like, and Chris's legacy changes dramatically. If he wins a championship, you can make an argument he's the greatest point guard of all time. If he doesn't win a championship, then he's just one of those guys. You know what I mean? Great player that couldn't get it done. So I tend to believe that this is going to be something that is going to push Chris Paul to the max in Game 6, because I know he cares about his legacy. And I think we'll see. I'll be shocked if we don't see one of the best versions of Chris Paul in Game 6. Let me just say that.
Right. I agree with you, man. Hey, this has been another one of those podcasts that's just encouraging to the fans. At the same time, the facts are the facts. Everybody, there's still opportunity and chance here. This thing's nowhere near over. You have to put a team away when you have a chance to put a team away, and it's hard to close out a desperate team. So the Suns, like I said, all they have to do is come in and play Suns basketball. We saw Suns basketball in that fourth quarter when they got the lead down and finally had a chance to win that game at the end. That was Suns basketball. The ball was moving. Other people touched the ball. So and so we gotta get to that. And at the same time, I think we play better when we're, every team plays better ahead, but we can't let the lead get double digits in this game.
Right. Yeah, we can't let them.
That would be really hard. That would be really hard to play from. Like if they jump out on us 15 and we got to battle back the whole game. It can't be that type of game. It has to be a game where you stay even kill, 1 possession, 2 possession throughout the whole thing and bring that pressure on them. That's when the pressure is going to be on them in that fourth quarter when it's a 1 or 2 possession game. You got to get it to that point. If you can get the game to that point, you can take that game. I think that's what's going to happen because it's hard to close.
I agree.
It's hard to close the team out.
I'm going to make my prediction right here and say the Phoenix Suns, you're going to know if the Phoenix Suns can win this basketball game in the first 6 minutes. If the first 6 minutes are played and this game is a basketball game and not a game where the Suns are down plus 10, Suns are going to win this game. I'm going to tell you right now, playing orange, Suns win 110 to 102. Phoenix Suns win 110 to 102. Write that down, brother E.
All right.
110 to 102 and bring it back to the Valley, baby.
And they're going to have Booker, Chris Paul, and I even say Crowder going to be making big plays in this game that's going to keep that crowd quiet.
Yeah,
Why?
I had a dream. Planet Orange.
And that's key. That's key.
That is key. No, that's key. You need those guys.
They did that on us in last night. The big plays to make our crowd go, oh. You know, we got to do those plays. And
absolutely.
Especially Book is cold, man. Middleton came down and hit that 3. I was like, oh, that was cold-blooded. Like,
hey, Earl, I don't know.
Book came back off that little pick off the inbounds play.
Big three.
I was like, that's cold-blooded.
That's cold-blooded, baby. Hey, Earl, listen, I'm going to stick to this. I don't know if you saw this. But this was like at least a month and a half ago. This was when the Suns were still like in the second round. I tweeted something out. I literally had a dream. And I don't want to get too crazy with it, but I tweeted out. Had a dream the Suns beat the Bucks in the finals. And this is way before anyone knew the Suns and Bucks would be in the finals.
You put out. You put that out a long time ago. I seen that.
Suns beat the Bucks in the finals. And in the dream, DeAndre Ayton had a block to win a championship. So I'm telling y'all, we're going to win this game. We're going to come back to the Valley.
Till it's done.
And my man DA is going to run out and chase down Middleton and tip a ball. And it's going to be Phoenix Suns win the NBA championship. And if that happens, I'm quitting my job. I'm not doing any more podcasts. And I'm calling Dionne Warwick. And I'm going to start reading cards and become somebody on a psychic network, because if that comes to fruition, man. But yeah, let's have fun with this, man. Embrace this. Planet Orange, we're in a great spot. There's 28 other teams that wish they were the Phoenix Suns today. And we've had a great season. There's no time to give up right now. Everything we want is on the other side of hard, baby. Let's go get it.
We're there, yeah. And stay tuned into the podcast. And stay off the national network, because all they're doing is trying to put us down, man. They're not giving us no love. Stay off the national networks, man. That's crap.
Yeah,
but anyway,
man.
Hey Flex, man, I appreciate you making the time. And this is what we do, man. We try to encourage the dang Valley and Suns Nation that it ain't over till it's over. And that fat lady
ain't over till it's over, baby. Two more Planet Orange. Let's start on Tuesday. Love y'all, dudes.
2 more. All right. This has been the Phoenix Suns, Bleav the Phoenix Suns podcast right here on KSRN and the Bleav Podcast Network. And like I said, subscribe to KSRN.com and also to this YouTube page right here, KAZUAL with the Z at the end of the word sports. Go ahead and subscribe. Love you guys. We'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace out.
Peace out, Planet Orange.
The emphatic follow down and goes for 8. Big guy. Don't worry about it. Bridges picks the pocket with a thunderous left hand. Booker racing to the rack. Scoops and scores. Wow, he's the face for you. From far away. Booker drills it.
Oh, no, he didn't. Chris Paul, that's not right. CP3, stop it.